Lovely. Yeah, I walked around the table. I could have gone this way, and I don't know why I went all the way around. I don't know. I think it's just like squeezing through here is just so awkward looking, you know? I mean, like you gotta. I guess it's not that bad. Hi,
I'm Frank. I'm a professional chef, and in this box are all the ingredients for a batch of $103 pancakes.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm a home cook, and in this box are my $7 pancake ingredients. Whoa. I don't know what this means.
Never ends.
No. Wait, hold on. No,
Okay, let's see what we got in here. If I can open it.
All right.
Ah, blackberries. Am I gonna put this in my grilled cheese?
I'm no pro chef. I don't want to judge, but I feel like this is a lot of mustard for pancakes. I don't know. Thanks. Thanks, Frank. I guess this is Frank's recipe book, and these are Bayonne ham and Gruyere Galettes with homemade mustard.
I was gonna make galettes or buckwheat crepes.
Not pancakes, huh?
I had some nicer ingredients to work with. I had some buckwheat flour,
Gluten-free.
and fine sea salt. I had some sugar, butter, and milk.
From cows in Ithaca.
For the filling, I had Gruyere cheese.
Which I have used before. Ah!
Some jambon de Bayonne,
Ooh.
which is a fancy French ham.
Jambon de Bayonne, which I definitely pronounced wrong.
You want to hear the French pronunciation?
Yes.
Jambon de Bayonne.
De Bayonne. Jambon. Fresh eggs. And everything I needed for a homemade mustard.
Yellow mustard seed for percussion. Oh, it's hard cider, so that's exciting. Oh, okay, I know this I do know. Apple cider vinegar.
All topped off with some fresh chive batons.
Which I don't think I've ever used, even as a garnish.
It was gonna be delicious. It was gonna make you think you were on the street in Paris.
Why?
Because we had that in Paris. Oh. My wife's like, why? Because we had it in Paris on our honeymoon, that's why. With Daniel's recipe, we have some simpler ingredients. Things that you're more likely to find in your local grocery store or even have in your pantry.
I gave Frank a very, very simple recipe.
So we have baking powder, unsalted butter, eggs, sugar, flour, milk, bacon, and blackberries.
I like blackberries, and there's an episode I actually did a 4 levels where I added blackberries into my grilled cheese, which a lot of people hated, and I mean, I may have burned the sandwich a little bit, but I swear it's good.
These ingredients might be simpler, but with a little technique and some magic chef love, I can make these better.
I have no doubt in my mind he's gonna find every way possible to just...
If I had a guess, all this would probably cost about $7 to $9. You think you can stump me on those prices? Professional over here.
$90 to $105? $103. I feel unworthy of wielding these ingredients. All right, let's make a galette. Galette. I honestly, truthfully, I don't know what a galette is. I think it's a sort of crepe, if I had to guess. Maybe an open crepe or a really fancy crepe.
A galette is a crepe made with buckwheat flour, usually found in the north of France.
But even then, why is there mustard on this?
These are very traditional fillings. Ham, cheese, egg. The mustard works with this galette because it has a little sharpness to it.
There's no recipe here. It's just a list of things.
Making the galette is kind of like this process already, so I didn't want to throw Daniel off with too many crazy ingredients. I wanted to challenge him, but not make him pull his beautiful hair out.
Ah! Okay.
Daniel, you need to be fearless here. Persevere. Embrace the grind. Get in there and make these crepes, buddy.
Is there like an SOS here? Can I like shoot a flare for help or... Rose?
It's nice to meet you.
It's so nice to meet you as well. I feel like I'm talking to a living legend.
Yeah, that's nice of you to say. So a galette is typically a crepe that's savory, and when we use the word crepe for sweet variations. You want to make sure that when you make your batter, it's a thin enough batter that you can pour. You want it to be the consistency of heavy cream, and you want to spread it as far around your pan as you possibly can.
Question about the batter. Is there, like, am I resting it? Do I just go right into the pan?
You do want to let it rest for about an hour.
So I've never actually made brown butter myself.
Go with a low heat and watch it like a hawk. As soon as you see a little bit of like a tannish kind of color, take it off the heat and stir it so that the milk solids aren't sitting on the bottom, and that way you won't scorch or burn your brown butter.
Frank gave me like brown mustard seed, yellow mustard seed, mustard powder.
First thing you want to do is steep the mustard seeds. I think you're going to heat up some hard cider or like an alcoholic, right? Yeah, perfect.
Oh, yes.
Then you're going to take that and you're going to mix the other ingredients too, and you're going to blend it so that you get a consistency that's spreadable but not pourable.
Anything else you think I should take into account or no, or?
Serve it with really nice white wine or champagne.
White wine or champagne. That I can do. That's easy. I feel better. Like, still nervous because it's new entirely, but overall I think I have a little bit more of an idea of what's supposed to go down here.
Okay, we're gonna get going on this. First thing we're gonna do is the bacon. I know that Daniel had planned on putting the bacon on the side. I have some different ideas. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cook the bacon, crumble it up, and fold it into my batter. And the bacon's gonna be like little crunchy bits on the inside. For the most part, I bake bacon on a sheet tray with parchment paper, and I'm basically gonna roast this off until it's nice and crisp. It should take about 10 to 15 minutes.
The first things that need a little bit of time are the brown butter and the mustard.
Making mustard isn't difficult. It's actually fairly easy.
Rose said that the brown seeds are a little more fibrous, so my guess is I'm not going to use as much brown as I will yellow.
The mustard that I want Daniel to make is kind of a chunky whole grain mustard. There's a little bit of sugar, there's some vinegar, there's some salt in there.
But I do want to start with the cider.
You have to soak the seeds for a little while so they soften up.
I always get nervous, like opening things with a cork. I'm safe though, I swear. See? Look at that. Oh no! Ah! Good news is it's delicious. So I guess I'll do like a half cup of cider. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna honestly do like a 2-to-1 ratio of yellow mustard seed to brown mustard seed. I don't want to overdo it just because I can't disappoint Frank. That's really what it comes down to, is I just don't want to disappoint Frank. So let's go to the stove and get this started. I've got the cider in the pot. I guess I gotta get this to a simmer now. I'm going like medium-low heat here. Now you just kind of watch and wait for it to start to simmer, which who knows? I don't know how long it takes. Do you know how long it takes? All right, now it's simmering. We got some simmer going. I'm gonna lower the heat just a little bit, and I guess I'm just gonna add all of these in. It smells good. So this looks sort of gloopy, for lack of a better word. So I'm gonna take this off the heat now and set it aside and just kind of let it soak in the cider for a bit.
We know how much Daniel likes his blackberries. And I imagine that he either wanted them in the batter or maybe on the side as a garnish. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna macerate them. Blackberries tend to be a little sour, so I'm gonna add some sugar, some orange rind, and I only want about maybe a quarter of this orange zest. And then I'm gonna use some of the orange juice here, probably about half of the orange. I don't want too much liquid in here. I'm gonna toss this up, right, and give a few of the berries a little bit of a mash. Give it a little mushy mush. There you go, come on. Mushy mush is definitely a chef term. We're gonna use this as a garnish on top of our finished pancakes.
First with the butter, Rose said to cut it into like small, even pieces. So I'm gonna do that and get it ready for the pan. Ooh, quality butter. You can feel it. The knife just goes through it a little differently. Hopefully these little guys will become the brownest of butters. Bear with me, I've never done this before, so prayers.
Anytime you want to add some flavor, a little brown butter goes a long way.
My heat is on the lowest setting that this burner will go to. She said to watch this like a hawk, not look away at all. Keep moving it around. I am not taking my eyes off this pan. I cannot fail Frank. Come on, butter. Okay. It's okay. We can do this.
Butter has butter fat and milk solids. And if you cook it, the milk solids get brown and roasty and get like this really beautiful nutty flavor.
But I'm not seeing any browning yet. I will say for the amount of fear I'm experiencing right now, I don't think this is worth it. Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, like actually this is brown. Like it's brown now. Whoa. I'll transfer it into a different bowl.
Okay, I got my bacon. It's all done. It doesn't need to be super crisp for this. We want it to be a little soft. I'm gonna drain off all that delicious bacon fat. Now this will store in your fridge for a couple of weeks. You can do potatoes. You can do whatever you want in that stuff, right? It's delicious, okay? And I'm gonna chop up my bacon. Easiest way to do this is to stack the slices and just cut through them. And that's the size I want for this. Perfect. That's what we're gonna throw into our pancake.
Alrighty, time to make batter. And these are fancy eggs. These are organic pasture-raised eggs. Oh, so close. You got whole milk. Looks thick. Let's go ahead and shake this up. Okay, this is intense, Frank. What are you trying to do to me here?
Now we're over at the stove, and we're gonna make our caramel, orange, and cinnamon syrup. Oh wait, I gotta go to my pantry. Cinnamon sticks, okay? I took that from the pantry. Yes, I did. I did it. And I don't need a full cinnamon stick. So I'm just gonna break it in half and use like a little nub. But the first step to do is to heat my pan up, right? And I'm gonna add my sugar to that. So what's gonna happen, if you look right away, the sugar starts to melt. Okay, it's getting a little brown. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to stir it so that it doesn't get burnt. Make sure that you're using a heat-proof spatula or a wooden spoon here. Melted plastic does not taste good in caramel. You can see it's getting nice and kind of caramel brown. So I'm gonna add my little piece of cinnamon stick. I have about 2 cups of water. Be very careful. Melted sugar will burn you and it hurts. Not only will melted sugar burn you, but steam will too, so be really careful there too. At this point, I'm also gonna take a little bit of my orange peel and the rest of that orange juice. And now I'm just gonna let this come to a simmer and cook down until it starts to thicken and gets a nice syrupy consistency.
I'm excited for this buckwheat flour. I've never used buckwheat flour, but it's gluten-free, and Rose said it's like really cool. It's got a nice color, so I'm excited to see what it looks like when I open it up. This is like stone kind of, ooh, I cannot fail Frank. Then we've got sugar and sea salt. And then the finishing touch is the brown butter. Oh. Alrighty, I'm gonna add this all to the blender and then blend her up. Whoa, so many things. I don't see any chunks in here. That looks creamy, right? All right, I'm gonna put this in the fridge, and I think she had to let it sit for like an hour. So that is where it will stay. Batter's done, to the best of my knowledge.
So we have a very general pancake batter here. And one of the things that I like to do to kind of make this a little bit better is I up the amount of egg whites, and I'm gonna whisk the whites so there's some air in there, and we're gonna make nice fluffy pancakes. One last major ingredient I have here is the utensil I'm gonna use to stir this batter. I made this spoon. This is actually made from a tree that we took down in my backyard. I dried the wood out and I made a nice little spoonula or spatula, a spatula. Well, I don't even know what you would call it, but it's a spoon spatula. So I'm gonna just put my flour in the bowl, my baking powder, and my salt. So that's my dry ingredients, really simple. And now I have another bowl with a bigger whisk that I'm gonna put my egg whites into. Whenever you whip egg whites, you wanna make sure that you don't get any fat in there. And with my last yolk, I'm gonna put it into my milk. And then what I'm gonna do is take my sugar, dump it in with the whites, and then I'm gonna take my butter and dump it in with the milk.
The batter is sitting, so now we get to the mustard. First, I'm gonna throw these seeds into the blender. I feel like now's a good time for mustard powder. Apple cider vinegar. This stuff always smells like feet. So I'm gonna do fine sea salt. I'm so happy there is sugar in this. My sweet tooth needs something. So I guess I'm looking for like a sort of semi-coarse mixture. I don't want this too smooth. I think this is exactly what I want. It's spreadable, but there's still like there's still some texture in there. I'm gonna let this sit in its own little bowl for a bit. Wow, this is really good. Now, I don't know if I do this every single time I wanted mustard, but this is really good. Yes. Okay. Mustard looks good. I'm gonna let this sit for a bit.
So the first thing I'm going to do is take my egg whites with the sugar and whip them up to stiff peaks. The best way to do this is to actually hold your whisk and turn the whites on top of each other. So we're lifting and going over, lifting and going over. Now your wrist is going to want to fall off because it does take a few minutes. But all the old school chefs at my school made us whip with a whisk, not with a mixer. The teacher would have us put an egg under our arm, and if you lift your arm up, the egg would fall. So the teacher forced you to use your wrist. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. It's kind of still soft peaks, but it has to sit for a second. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it aside, and before I fold it in, I'll give it a little more air.
All right, so I've got all the fillings for the galette. So I'm excited about this because this reminds me of ham that I have in Spain, jamón ibérico. You can't go wrong with this stuff. This is incredible. So I think the only step I really need to do is cut the rind off the cheese, grate this up finely, and then move everything over to the stove. That is a lot of cheese. Tastes good.
I have my wet ingredients here. Oh, make sure you splash it everywhere, right? Because, you know, that's how we do it. The key here with this batter is don't mix it too much. I just want to incorporate the flour, make sure I get everything off the sides. But the more you mix this, the tougher your pancakes get. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fold in a little bit of the bacon and just lightly fold it in. We don't need a ton of bacon because we're gonna use some of the fat as well. We have our egg whites. We're gonna give them another quick little whisk. And what I'm gonna do with the egg whites is I'm gonna add a little bit of egg white to this. That is my sacrificial egg white. This is gonna start to lighten our mixture. And then I'm gonna put the rest of the mixture in and fold it in. So we're just folding from the center over the top, folding over to the top, and that's it. I'm not gonna fold anymore. Our batter is ready. It's time to cook.
This is the moment of truth. It's galette time now. I've got the batter sitting in the fridge. It's gotten a little thicker, so I'm probably gonna add just a little bit of milk. Ugh. There we go. I'm gonna preheat the oven to 350. I have one of those ovens where you gotta like hold it down for an eternity before the flame comes on and you gotta watch it. As the crepe is cooking, am I flipping it? Like, is it just like a pancake?
It is, exactly. Little bubbles will form around the edges first, and then you can flip it. You know, you can try doing the old pancake flip, loosen it up first, but you know, you don't have to do that.
I can do this. I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie.
Crepes can be difficult to master. Even though I've been cooking for many years, the first 2 or 3 crepes always come out like garbage.
This is number one. Heavy creamy, right in the middle. Bang. Okay, I'm gonna swirl this around and make sure this hits all over. The butter's kind of coming up over the edges. It's bubbling a little bit. No bubbles yet, so I'm still waiting on that. Ooh, ooh. Was it on there for too long? No one knows? It's okay, okay. Ooh, okay, all right. Bam, there's one. I think it's done. I'm gonna call it. Like, this looks crepe-like. This is very thin, still pliable. I think for the first one, it's all right. I'll take this.
In front of me, I have an electric griddle. It has a lot of surface area. Normally, I can get 8 pancakes at a time. And as a chef, I'm usually serving a crowd, so I want to go as quick as possible. You don't necessarily need an electric griddle for this. You can use a stovetop griddle, a pan, the back of a shovel if you want. But for the most part, this is what I like to use. So we're gonna take some bacon fat, and I'm gonna make 3 pancakes. And I'm just gonna take a nice portion of the batter and put it into the fat, okay? Nice portion of the batter and put it into the fat. Put 3 pancakes kind of in the middle there, and we're gonna let these cook nice and slow.
Let me see if I can duplicate that. Oh, it's bubbling already. Oh man. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh man, this is so exciting. Bang. It's kind of crazy. This is cooking so fast. Wow, that one was quick. Whew. I might do like another one and just dump it straight from the bowl. Frank, this actually is pretty cool. I feel like I'm learning something new. I had no idea this was even possible, and this is just super cool to like see this actually happen and take shape. All right, let's see, let's do another one. This looks all right. Okay, going for the flip. You know what? I want to know. This is gonna be the last one. I want to go out with a bang. This is for Frank. Come on. Oh! Yes! Oh, Frank, that was for you. Frank, that was for you.
One of the bigger mistakes people make is they start to move it around now. I literally just put it onto the griddle. Leave it alone. We're gonna start to see some bubbles popping through, and that's when you wanna turn your pancake. But if you try and flip it before then, your pancake's gonna go splash everywhere. And I just spit on the pancakes. Luckily, I'm eating them. Okay, time to flip. Get under them and flip. Look at that. You can see little flecks of bacon in there. Nice and golden brown. Pancakes take about 2 minutes aside. These are almost done. I can feel that they're firm in the middle. They have a little spring back, and they're pretty much cooked through. I'm in for a treat today. So is my family.
I've got my lovely little crepe in here that I'm really proud of. And I'm going to just add everything one by one. So I'm going to add the mustard, a sprinkling of cheese, the ham, cut a little bit of butter, and then an egg.
Usually a galette comes in kind of a square parcel. I'm going to have them fold the sides over.
If you ever watch Lord of the Rings, it kind of looks like those like lembas bread packages. This looks like a little package. Oh, shoot. All right, well, this is going right into the oven. I'm not going to mess around anymore. I've got 5 minutes on my watch. In the meantime, I'm going to assemble the garnish. Luckily for me, batons don't seem like the most labor-intensive thing in the world. Alrighty, I'm gonna take this bad boy out and see how it looks. Whoa, this looks all right. It looks, I don't know if you can tell. I'm gonna let's plate this. I'm gonna plate this. And the folds kind of got a little bit lost in there. I think there's got to be some sort of trick to get those folds to stay. This actually looks really pretty. I'm excited.
So I'm gonna use salted butter for this, and I know what everyone's thinking. I like to control the salt, but there's nothing better than salted butter on a pancake or on a slice of bread. When it's done at the processing plant, the butter and the salt are mixed together really well. I'm gonna take my first pancake, another little knob of butter, some of my berries just kind of lifted up. My next pancake, a little more berries, my next pancake. I want to get a picture perfect knob of butter on top. A few more berries falling off the sides. So I'm just going to take the syrup, sprinkle it around. Oh my gosh, look at that.
So I'm going to do some chives on here, just sort of over the top. And then I guess a little bit of salt, some flake salt for crunch and flavor. And this is my galette. I cannot wait to see what Frank thinks about this. I'm hoping I did it justice.
And that's my take on Daniel's pancake recipe. I hope he likes what I did.
Do you mind?
Hey, beautiful. I'm talking to you, Frank. Time to taste. Love that it's this big stack of pancakes. Man.
This is very good.
I love blackberries, but in this, it's amazing.
I wouldn't call this a pancake, but this is very good.
It's not too sweet. We got a little savory bite from the bacon that you get at the end.
I don't think I'll make my own mustard all the time, but I honestly, truly feel like it does add a lot.
I think I hit this one out of the park.
I honestly am proud of myself. I did not know anything.
Daniel, how are you?
What's up, Frank? How's it going? It's an honor. It's an honor to meet you.
It's a pleasure meeting you too, man.
So fingers crossed. I was trying to make you proud, man. I think I did it justice. I don't know if you can take a look at it.
Oh yeah, that is nice.
It's got my bite mark. You
got a bite mark. No.
That, yeah.
The shape is on, right on.
Not bad.
No, that's good. That's really good. Let me show you mine.
Yeah, okay. I do. I want to see yours.
See if you get some height. I didn't get as much volume as I wanted.
I mean, hey, those look better than any pancakes I've made in the past couple of years.
Listen, this is always a lot of fun. And I always love to see when people do my recipes and I challenge them and they step up to the challenge. That's always awesome.
That was my only goal. And I will say one of my favorites was this. This was great. This was awesome.
Well, you know what? You can't open it and not finish it now.
True. That is true.
That would be a terrible waste. Daniel, take it easy. Stay safe.
You as well. Have an awesome rest of the day.
Great time. You too. Great time. Enjoy that cider.